Jesus Christ, you people suck.
Wow.
Wolverine wanted to be in.
Back in the days when we played video games, it was hardcore for the nerdy and lazy. Now things have changed and all our video games are also for the casual and lady.
But that's okay, you know the score. We told you a million times before. Playing consoles, not just games, is in the past. And every week you listen to the best damn internet radio crew. It's the N4G podcast. It's the N4G podcast.
Alright, it's time! Another week, N4G Radio. This is episode 674 for November 1st, 2021. It's officially time to turn on your Christmas music and put up your Christmas tree, because Halloween is over. And on the show this week, we have Anthony.
Hey.
We got the Wombat, too.
Oh, yep.
We're going to talk about video games and probably some tacos and I don't know. Things and stuff and things. Dads that are radishes. I want to talk about that.
I'm taking 100% credit for calling that, having never seen it.
I mean, it's literally a game where a radish is dead and his kids are there and you got to find them. I mean, game of the year.
Game of the year.
Anyway, Anthony, you want to talk about video games? Everybody seems so uplifting and upbeat today, so I'm feeling
I'm
it.
tired. Yeah. Far Cry 5, because that's the game of choice right now when I'm just like, let's turn my brain off. I played and finished Happy Game. Happy Game is the new game from Amanita Design. Machinarium, Samarost, trying to think of the other, Chuchel. Those are kind of their bigger titles. I've played quite a bit of their catalog, and it's always been weird, but at most psychedelic or a unique design. But nothing so disturbing. I think disturbing is maybe the wrong word, but I was highly uncomfortable playing Happy Game, and I'm pretty sure that's the point, because it's not a scary game. Calling this a horror game would be wrong. I'm going to say too much credit, but it would be just incorrect. The screenshots kind of show off what the game has to offer, but I think the most uncomfortable parts are needed to see in motion and are hidden away from the main game. The title comes from the fact that most everything you come across has a smile, and it looks like an emoji smile. It's not like an uncomfortable, toothy grin. It's a point-and-click adventure, but I'm going to be honest with you, there wasn't too many puzzles. It was kind of interactive fiction where there's no dialogue. There's a sequence of the teddy bear that was just really fucked up, and the music that plays and its dance. I wouldn't say teddy bear. Sorry, it was a bear. It's bright. It's the only colors that are being used are black, white, and red on screen, and it dances. And it is the hair on my arm was standing on end just because of how uncomfortable it was. It was clearly supposed to be off-putting, and it succeeded, which is so weird from a studio that, for the most part, has been family friendly. But this game is not with the amount of blood in it. Yeah, I just don't know what to think about it. I finished it today. It's not very long. I just did it in 2 sessions. And just so bizarre. Which is usually up my alley, but it's one of those I don't know if I can recommend it to people.
I don't feel like you're selling me on the video game.
So you play as a little kid, and the kid is clearly pulled into nightmares.
That's lovely.
Yeah. And at first, it's just kind of a white void, and things happen. But the sequences that they kind of show off are there's sort of three acts, and like the second act is the one that you'll see with all the like emojis basically floating around, the yellow smiley faces. And each time is just a new part of the nightmare, I'm assuming. There's no dialogue, which makes translating this to the small amount of English very easy for other regions. It's a game that if you really want to not be scared, because I'd argue that there's better games to be scared at. This didn't have any sort of sense of dread or any jump scares or anything like that. It just the whole time it made me feel uneasy, which is not something I necessarily feel with horror games either. I love the studio, so it definitely was my thing, but like Samarost is free, the first game in the series, and it's probably what you should try to see if the gameplay would be interesting to you. Because I really think the visuals are just off-putting on every level. Like, I thought, oh yeah, this will be just kind of one of those sort of creepy pasta sort of designs, and in a way it is. You're tearing stuff apart, and there's just blood, and like I said, the bear that dances, the music that plays still makes my arms stand on end as I think about it. It's just a fucked up game. Like, that's all I can kind of say about it. It goes for it, and it succeeds, and nothing is like taboo subject matter other than murder. And the kid that you're playing as has some violence against him, but it's cartoony. There's never like a lot of blood that happens to the kid, but there's just some weird moments where like I don't want to go into detail just in case someone wants to play it, but violence happens against the kid, but there's no way to die, there's no way to fail. Just like other Amanita stuff. So if you try Samarost and go, I really like what the game has to offer, but the psychedelic mixture of cartoons and photographs aren't doing it for me, well,
Look at this photograph.
yeah. I'll just straight up leave the show, Ken. I'm too tired to be thinking about Nickelback. Fucking don't do that to me.
If you weren't thinking about Nickelback, Ken was trying to figure out how he could remind you.
He straight up left the show. I love it. I know you're back. Hi.
Yeah. I just need a moment of a brief moment of like. Yeah, that's it for me. Like, next little while is gonna be rough as I switch jobs. So.
All right. God damn. You can tell this show's been going on too long, and that's just Jesus. All right. Wombat.
Yeah. So, really, the only thing that I have played is Yakuza Zero. And I am almost done with it. I'm in the last act right now. So I'm finishing that up hopefully today. And we'll put that one on the shelf and be thankful that I played it and also thankful that I finished it. Because as much as I really love it and the story has gotten better as the game goes on, I'm ready to move on to something else. So I'll be glad to dust this one off, and I'll jump into the first Kiwami somewhere down the line after I've played a couple palate cleansers in between. So, but yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm not as much in a hurry to play the rest of them because, from my understanding, 3 and 4 are kind of a big step backward.
3, 4,
Do I
and
understand
5.
that correctly? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not all that worried about it. I figure even if I only get through the first 2, maybe by the time I get through, or first 3, maybe by the time I get through Kiwami 2, they'll have remastered again 3 and 4, or maybe just one of the 2. So it'll be a slow burn for me, but that's fine. Most of the stuff that I play is a slow burn anyway. So once I finish that, I'll move on to Psychonauts. That's the plan, at least. And then I'd like to finish off the Valhalla DLC too, but I got to take a look at the stuff that's come out this year and figure what of it I'm actually going to play and prioritize playing that before the end of the year. Most of the stuff that came out this year I likely won't end up playing, but the stuff that I want to play, I'd like to prioritize playing that before the end of the year. So maybe it'll be Hitman 3 for me after Psychonauts. But I'm actually leaving on vacation next week on a cruise, so I will not be playing anything for about 7 days. So
You're not going to take your PlayStation on a cruise?
definitely not. Definitely not. So, but yeah, that's really it.
All right.
And before anybody comments on the cruise, it's a Disney cruise. You have to be vaccinated to be able to get on. If you are under 12 and thus can't get a vaccination, you have to have 2 negative COVID tests to be able to get on board. And everybody, even everyone that's vaccinated, has to have a negative COVID test to get on board. And they're running at a max of 50% capacity, but it'll probably be more like 30%. So it's a safe cruise.
Whew. A lot of things you got to go through to do things now, which is why I've
Yep.
just opted not to do anything.
Yeah, a lot of hoops to jump through. But we were actually supposed to go last year, and so it got pushed back, and so the extra steps made us feel comfortable enough to be able to go. So
Oh, that's good. Looking forward to 2030 when we get back to normal. How long it feels like it's going to be.
the fact that you think there's a normal is funny.
I got to have some hope. In 2030, I'm going to be 60, 50? I don't know. I can't keep track.
Yeah.
I'll be an old man, so I probably won't care. I'll just probably sit on my lawn drinking beer, yelling at kids walking by. I don't know. All right. Well, I'll run through the indie games, and then I've got a couple bigger games to talk about. I did play the Dadish games. There are 2 of them. They both came out this week, and they are just like Wombat predicted. They are a radish who is a dad, and your kids get lost. In the first game, they get lost.
Dadish.
Yeah, he has to find the kid. I get a very Kirby vibe from like when you get the kid, like they fly up into the air with some stars underneath them, kind of like in the Kirby golf game. But no, it's a like here's a level, do some platforming to get to the kid, move on to the next level kind of game. There are a lot of those kind of games indie wise. This one's one of the better put together ones. Like it's actually really well done. The graphics look good. Like I said, it could be a Kirby game. That's like kind of the pixel style. It's really well done. Platforming feels good. The levels are challenging. They ramp up. It's a solid game. I booted up Moonglow Bay. Moonglow Bay is totally not my kind of game. It's a very like chill, almost like a Moonlighter where you can fish and you create a fishing shop and you open it up and you sell fish. It's real fucking dark right at the beginning. Like you start off as this couple on a boat, and then your partner goes off somewhere, and then like all of a sudden it's like 3 years later and they've been missing that entire time. So it's like real fucking depressing right off the bat. But yeah, it's solid. It's on Game Pass if you want to check it out. It's fine, just not my jam. Lucid Cycle. I tweeted out a screenshot of this. This is a weird fucking game. So basically every level is a different dream cycle that you're having, and you'll run into some weird shit. The screenshot that I sent out was the second level where there were 3 houses, and each house you go into, there's something weird happening. The first house I went into was like a bunch of worms, and then you could shoot them, and they turned into food. The second room was like a dude that looked like a Big Daddy from BioShock, like walking through the floor. One of the levels was jumping from train to train in the middle of the sky. It just basically is just trying to like recreate dreams and like it's a walking simulator. There's really nothing to it. Like the fail states are so small. Like when I fall off the platforms in the trains, it just literally just respawns me right on that train. So. But it was interesting. I played through like I think 5 levels of that. Millie and Greg is another game like Dadish, where you move from one end of the level to the next doing platform puzzles to get your cat. That's pretty much what it is. A bunch of point and clicks this week. Hermitage, Strange Case Files, and what was the other one? Virtuoverse and Nowhere Girl and Backbone. Those are all like point and click style investigative games. Virtuoverse and Backbone have cool looks to them, and I like the characters in Backbone, but I didn't play enough to say this is a great game. Virtuoverse is really cool. Like I like the music in it. It's kind of like a cyberpunk style game. Amazing Breaker was a game where you're shooting bombs at. You remember in Lemmings when something would blow up and it would blow up like a chunk of the level? That's what this reminds me of. Like it blows up chunks of a level. And the objective is to get like 99% of the level exploded with bombs. Okinawa Rush is a cool side-scrolling like martial arts game where you're just flying through the level, picking up like swords and nunchucks and just laying waste to hundreds and hundreds of ninjas. And it's pretty fun. I actually really like that game. I played The Immortal, which I don't know if anybody... Do you guys remember The Immortal? It was on Nintendo, and then it was on Genesis. It's like a isometric, walking around, and then when you get into a battle, it goes into like a close-up of you versus the enemy, and like the dungeon is full of like traps. And like literally you can die by opening like a treasure chest. Like it's a real weird.
Yeah, I do remember that, but I don't remember it enough to talk on it eloquently. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume. Oh yeah, I was gonna say. I'm looking at the graphics of the Genesis version. I'm like, this is going to be a PC originally created for the Apple II GS. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. So the thing about this game,
Yeah, I remember this game.
The thing about this game when we were kids was the NES version was censored, while the Genesis version had like the fucking exploding head decapitation attacks, and it's kind of a gory game. It's just a weird game to come back. And this like version that they put out has both the NES and the Genesis versions, and it's basically just that game. Like there's really not much else to it, and it was weird to go back and play this game. Project Wingman was kind of like an Ace Combat. It's actually pretty solid, and it's on Game Pass if you haven't played it. But just don't go into it expecting like the new Ace Combat. Like go into it expecting like Ace Combat 2, you know, or probably more like a PS2 version. Normandy 44 is a first-person World War shooter. God damn, it's generic. But at least it plays all right. Danger Scavenger. It's a twin stick shooter. You go around collecting things to craft things. There's a rogue mode which I did not even touch. Zombie Hill Racing is one of those games where you have so much gas and you got to drive and kill zombies before you run out of gas. You can use the hills as momentum. It's straight up fucking mobile game. They released Light Fairy Tale Episode 2, which I booted up and started playing and didn't know what the hell was going on because I didn't play Light Fairy Tale Episode 1. But it is a JRPG style game. It's fine. I think I got through all the indie games. There's always so many of these fucking games. Sometimes it's just like, well, what do you even say about it? Like, I feel like there's a collection of, here's the point and clickers, here's the, puzzle platform, 100 level games, here's the side scrolling games, and here's the big pack of mobile ports. And then every now and then, I think this week's highlight is definitely Okinawa Rush. I think that was the coolest game I played. I wish the CRT filter on that game wasn't so aggressive. It's extremely aggressive. I did get the patch for Pumpkin Jack, but there's a bug in the Xbox version that it basically just crashes when you boot it. I guess there's a patch coming this week, so maybe I'll play that this week. It's really kind of disappointing because the patch didn't make it out before Halloween, which was the whole purpose of me booting that back up. But I guess I'll play it after Halloween. Still an awesome game. Alright, the bigger games I played this week. I played Mario Party Superstar. Or as people in the circles like to call it, the fuck you simulator.
I've heard this one's fixed some of that.
I mean, so here's the thing. It's a collection of levels from, all of the Mario parties. And if you go back...
4 ones, yes.
Yeah, if you go back to, the first Mario Party, I had forgotten that the star doesn't move in those maps.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
That was just such a weird thing, because, my whole strategy at the beginning was to beat the character to the star, but they beat me there, but then it didn't move. And I was like, oh, that's right. The original boards, the star didn't move after everybody got one.
So the star doesn't move in the original maps in this one?
Yeah, so I played...
Okay.
Yeah, I played one of the maps from the first game, and there's an event square that you can land on that'll move it, but it literally only has 2 spots on the map that it'll move back and forth between. So, it kept popping back and forth there. I do so one thing I like about this game is that it's 100% customizable. So if you're playing with people, and let's say you're playing with kids, and you want more simplified, not as complex and smashing the controller mini games, you can actually set that before you start the game. So you can tell it, I want a little bit of everything, or I want action mini games, or I want family, easy mini games, and it will actually just pick from a pool because this game has mini games from everything. I think there's 6. I don't want to be quoted on that, but I think there's 6 total maps that you can play right now. I do hope they add more because that seems kind of small for a greatest hits version of a Mario Party. There's 8 characters, I believe, pretty much the standard fare. The only shocker is Birdo. Birdo's kind of a weird one to have in the game.
So I can tell you why they added Birdo. The same reason why they added Waluigi to Mario Tennis. They felt it necessary to have someone team up with Yoshi, so they put Birdo in the games.
Hey, Birdo is awesome. I've always loved Birdo. But I mean,
Wow.
it's Mario Party. It's good. It looks really good. A lot of the mini games they kept in there are the good ones. I've been playing with a Pro controller, so it's not like they're motion controlled, so you don't have to worry about that. I mean, it's hard to say anything about Mario Party other than it's Mario Party, and you're probably going to get mad at each other when you play it. That's how Mario Party do. Uh, Drew and I started playing the newest Dark Pictures anthology, House of Ashes.
Or it's not like doesn't look as good.
Well, I opted to play in the performance mode, so obviously my version is like the resolution's dropped. I think it looks just as fine as the last one. I don't. I guess I don't understand where that's coming from, but
Yeah, that's just all I've heard about it. So
yeah, that's odd. I mean, it's pretty straight. Like the House of Ashes or the Dark Pictures anthology feels to me like a CW show. Like every new one has like the same people from the last one in it, and that is 100% the case here. Like we were pointing out, like, oh, that's the dude from Man of Medan, this character, and that's the girl from whichever other one that played that role. Like there's so many reused actors in these Dark Pictures games, which makes sense. I mean, there's definitely still some funky glitches. I know Drew tweeted that video out of the T-pose and characters that were just left in place.
as the other model was like also there.
Yes,
Yeah.
like it was a double model. There's some weird stuff in this game. So, like, there are sections of this game where it'll switch to the other. So, like when you're playing the co-op, like you're seeing different perspectives of different characters, and like literally we were playing, and it would switch over to the perspective of these other characters, and it would tell us who we were playing as, but we never actually did anything. Like it was just a cutscene. And I'm like, well, then why did you tell us that Drew was this person and I was this person if we're not even going to control those people? Like it just, I don't know. We're also fairly shocked. Like we're pretty early in. I think we played maybe 2 hours, and we've already lost most of the people. And it wasn't necessarily because of choices that we made, but I guess there are choices that you make that, like, you can keep everybody alive, supposedly. But, like, a lot of the little mini games that we did, like, most of the time we did not fail. So I'm always interested in knowing, like, what caused this person to die.
I mean, one of the deaths in Little Hope is caused by not failing a mini game. So
There was definitely something that happened towards the end of our playtime where the most obvious thing to kill one of us we didn't do, and one of us still died. And it was like, well, I guess I don't know what I would have done differently there, because if we had performed the action that we didn't perform, it was almost a certain that they would have died. So it's weird. The story's not as, like, at least so far, I hope it doesn't change, but like, you know how the last couple, they weren't really, not to spoil if you're worried about spoilers, the first 2 Dark Pictures games were not really supernatural at the end of them.
they pull an M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
I looked up. I was curious because I was like, I don't think I'm gonna play this because I was just like, I just can't see myself doing it. Not after Little Hope.
Little Hope was bad.
Little Hope. I mean, I said it in my review. That's all I'm gonna say. It's like my main issue, and my review has spoilers, but my main issue is not what it was. It was that they established something early on and then didn't pay it off and just expected me to forget.
Yeah.
Don't do that. That's really bad. That's like the fact that I can see that tells me you're a bad writer, not like that this was some sort of like a better writer. A better writer could have done that well and had like some sort of like, yeah, okay, so I guess no, I'm not even gonna say it. Just regardless, that could have been handled better. Outside of that key element I'm referring to in my review, it was like, all right. I mean, I've seen it before. That was the biggest problem, is I've seen it before. So I looked up this game because I was like, all right, I need to know. And I said this on the podcast, but I'm like, is this gonna be some PTSD story? I'm glad to report that no, it's not.
Yeah, the story like so far is intriguing, and if they turn it out to be not supernatural, I'm gonna be even more pissed than I was last time. Because I mean they've straight up shown the thing.
I know what you're referring to, yeah.
Yeah, they've straight up shown it. I've seen it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I straight up saw the other stuff too, so...
Yeah, I know, but like there's no back and forth
Yeah?
here. Like they're all just in a place. And
But,
yeah.
yeah, I looking it up, I went, I know what you're going for story-wise here. I
Yeah.
think, yeah, it sounds like it's kind of just a ham-fisted ending. But I was just happy that it was not PTSD. Because when I saw the trailer, I went, yeah, that's what that's gonna be. And I was wrong. And I'm okay with that. I'm glad I was wrong.
I think I'm at the point now, and like Drew said this when we were playing, like he's like, you know what, fuck it, I like these games. And I'm like, I'm kind of there too. There are some things about them that really irritate me, but there's something about playing through them, whenever they put one out that is always interesting to me. And I hope this, because it's so weird for a developer to come out, and I know why. Don't even worry about the fact that I don't know why. When you come out and you fucking nail it with Until Dawn, and then you slowly regress backwards. Like every Dark Pictures anthology game has been worse than the one before it. And I'm hoping that House of Ashes does not continue that trend, because Man of Medan, it was okay. And then what's the last one called? I already forgot. Little Hope. Little Hope was just bad. Like, I did not like that game at all. And then this one, House of Ashes, so far I'm kind of like, well, this could definitely go one of two ways. This could either be interesting and cool once it wraps up, or you can really just piss me off. Like, real bad. Because there are characters in this game that I absolutely just do not like. And at least in Man of Medan, Until Dawn, and even some of them in Little Hope. Like the ratio of characters in this game that I just don't like or just don't give two shits about sucks.
Little Hope, they really wanted you to like those characters.
Yeah, and most of them I did not.
I liked the acting. That was about it.
Yeah. There's a character that I really like in House of Ashes that's already died. I was upset about that.
Can I take a wild guess and say it's not the blonde-haired girl?
Oh God, no, dude. She is. Ooh, we joke about her every time she's on the.
Tisdale,
Yeah, she looks so.
out of place.
Yes, 100%. She does not
It
look
was
like.
weird when I saw her in the trailer as a soldier in the desert.
Well, not only that, but like her model feels out of place. Like I don't want to be offensive or anything, but Drew said she looked like a real doll.
Well, I'm assuming that's because they put more work into her because she's a celebrity, so they wanted to.
Yeah, but it made her look worse.
I mean, that's the problem with
Who's
having
the celebrity?
Ashley Tisdale.
Oh,
She's from High School Musical and
yeah, I know.
other Disney stuff. Okay. Well, for those who don't, there you go. There's your answer.
I didn't know
If
who
you
she
go,
was.
I don't know any of those. I go, good for you.
I recognize the name when it came. You know how it does like the credits. Which, by the way, the opening to the Dark Pictures anthology is still awesome with the like fucking like saliva metal song or whatever with the curator walking down the hallway. It's so cheesy, but I love it. Oh, anyway, yeah, I'll finish it. I hope that it wraps good. But we'll see.
By the way, she's the only one of the main characters of the Dark Pictures anthology that has not played a Marvel character.
Oh, well.
Or won't be playing a Marvel character, right? Because the guy from Little Hope is going to be Adam Warlock, and Iceman is the first game.
That was Ashmore, right?
Yep.
And he also was in Quantum Break.
Yep.
And he was also in X-Men.
That's what I'm saying. He was in X-Men. He's Iceman. So
Yeah.
Adam Warlock, Iceman, and then Ashley Tisdale.
Well, there you go. I also have been playing Fatal Frame, Maiden of Blackwater.
And you talk about the game that's, what, a decade old?
Yeah, it's out.
Okay.
I like. So
Did the
I
monkey paw curl a finger when you realized that this game wasn't great?
so this game is
Barely Fatal Frame.
kind of, but I think what bothers me more than anything else about this game is how weified it is. Like the
Reach
whole
your hand out.
yeah, hold the right trigger, and then if the ghost snatches at you, let go of the right trigger, and then like, man, why does she have to open every single door at like she's walking through fucking molasses?
What's weird is that this game wasn't on the Wii, but I guess it uses the engine from the Wii remake of 1. Like, I don't understand that. And then the scare being like, oh, you pick something up and a ghost hand might come out. Like,
Yeah, like, and it's I forgot it's episodic too.
oh, I totally forgot that the Wii U game.
Yeah, it's episodic, and it sucks because like I'm playing it, I'm like, God, I miss Fatal Frame. Like I love,
And you still do.
and I know, and I do want them to remake 1, 2, and 3. Also, Anthony, this game is really horny.
Oh yeah, those games just spiraled off into that.
Oh my God, like,
Well, this is the
What
one.
a
Is this
word I expected you to say, but it was not that one.
yeah, I know, right? Like
the one?
Like
Is
she
this the one where
she
it's
gets
4
water
people?
on her all the time, and like she has like a white shirt on, so you know where
I
I'm
thought
going.
is this not the one where there's like 4 people staying in a cabin or whatever?
They haven't made it to a cabin, so this is the one for Mount Hikami where they go in the
Man,
suicide.
you're asking.
Uh,
They aren't they all that for some ritual thing?
I don't know, probably.
Yeah, exactly. No, is there a guy with like glasses?
Yeah, the
in
guy
the
that
party?
that had the photo
Yeah.
album. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he ends up watching them over security cams at one point while they sleep.
I mean, like
Just
the
take that
second
in.
the second level has these two girls walking through a house like looking for ghosts, and they're wearing like fucking super short skirts and like thigh high. Like it's just
So
like who
Is
does
that?
that?
What you go ghost hunting?
Well, obviously I do, but you know,
we got to scare the ghost somehow.
oh my God! And like the camera when she goes through the crawling spaces, like zooms in on her. I was like, oh my God, what are
So-
you doing?
The disappointing part with this reissue is that I think the extra costumes are just bikinis, which
There's also the character from
Yeah.
Atla Ryza is a costume. and-
oh yeah, because that's not horny.
no, that's extremely
Um,
horny.
Yeah, it was in the Wii U version. It was Princess Peach, I think, and Samus.
Like
Zero Suit,
Bayonetta
maybe,
costumes, yeah.
and those aren't here because this is no longer published by Nintendo.
Yeah, it's on everything.
Uh,
Yeah, so like I'm playing this and I'm like, it's cool to be playing Fatal Frame again, but God, like there's so many awkward design choices. Like they do add the action controls, so now it's not like tank control. You can actually swap between them.
Why would anybody pick tank controls?
Some people really like that.
well, in this game, it wouldn't make sense. It'd be one thing if you're still playing like fixed camera angles, like the original games, but this one's all behind the shoulder, isn't it?
It is, and the action controls are actually kind of broken. So like, you can still move the camera with the right stick, and you can move with the left stick. But a lot of times, if you pull down on the left stick, like it'll flip around real quick, and it's just there's something off about the action controls. Like they didn't get them right. So
This is Fatal Frame's disaster report 4.
yeah, like I want this to sell so that they'll make 1, 2, and 3, but I can't, with a good conscience, say that this is a good Fatal Frame game to pick up. It kind of really made
That's-
me depressed.
That's what made me surprised when I heard they were remastering it. Like all the Fatal Frame fans, because I've not played it. I just know enough because I've watched people talk about it and be like, when we recommend Fatal Frame, this is not it.
But it's
Don't
probably
play
the
the Wii one.
easiest.
Don't play this one.
It's the easiest one to
Uh,
port.
Yeah, easiest one to port. Correct. Yeah. As I say, because the easiest one to obtain. I mean, now yes, but like if you have a PS3, the first three are still available as PS2 classics, and that's what you should buy.
Oh, absolutely. 1 and 2 are absolutely incredible. I love both of those games. I didn't think 3 was as good, but to me, the first one is still probably the best. It might be my favorite horror game. I love that first game. All right, I have one more game to talk about that I can talk about.
Is it horny?
No, it's not at all.
Thank God.
But it is very Ubi. It's Riders Republic.
Oh man, watch me check out.
I'm surprised at how fun it is. Like, I had zero expectation for this game. Like, they kept showing it, and I was like, so what is this? Is this like a multiplayer game? Is it like an only multiplayer game? Like, what is it? And it is like it's a fucking Ubisoft game. Like, there's a map, and on this map there are 6,000 dots, and you pick a dot and you go there and you do the activity and you move on. That part is really kind of annoying me because I think I'm getting to the point where a map with a bunch of activities on it is really starting to just piss me off. Like, I want to play a game and I just want to play it. I don't want to go from point to point to point to point to point, whatever. The nice thing that Riders Republic does is it will let you fast travel close to the thing that you want to do. So you don't have to, like, move everywhere. What sucks is that Riders Republic is actually really fun. Like, each individual sport that you do is actually fun to do. So, like, the bike riding is interesting. The snowboarding and skiing is fun. The wingsuit is absolutely incredible. It reminds me of an open world Pilot Wings.
You're speaking my language.
Yeah, like, I love all of that about this game. I just don't like the fact that it's wrapped up in a Ubisoft package. I don't feel...
The things that are a negative for you are a positive for me, though, because I do like the open world stuff.
Okay,
Even though it does get a little tiresome. But for me, the concept of an open world Pilot Wings makes this actually something I want to play, and I hadn't even thought about the game until you just said that.
Yeah,
So,
like
congratulations, you may have just sold a copy.
Hey, you know what? I see a lot of people, like, this is, for lack of a better term, this is this week's Guardians of the Galaxy, where everybody saw it and they're like, yeah, this is gonna suck. And then they play it and they're actually like, this is actually pretty good. Like, shockingly, this is pretty good. Like I said, I love this game when I'm playing it. Like, when I'm actually doing the races or, you know, I'm doing the events. Like, that stuff is fun. I just hate, like, after you get kicked out of a race or something and it's like, what do you do now? I don't know. Pick a spot on the map and go fucking do something. And it's like there's no direction to you. There's nothing like kind of pulling you towards the next event, or, you know, it's just kind of like, well, do you want to ride a bike, or do you want to snowboard, or do you just want to fucking stand here and do some tricks in a half pipe? I don't know. Do whatever. And it's like, I don't know. I'm getting tired of that formula. I like to kind of have a goal. I like to have a linearity to a game sometimes that I'm like, at least kind of pull me towards what you want me to do. Like, don't just give me a giant map full of icons and tell me, like, make your own fun.
Yeah, the Ubisoft formula once again is hitting that point where it's like you're gonna have to do something because I'm running out of patience.
I think I've just had too much of it. I know, Wombat, that you really still love kind of that formula, but I think I'm to the point where I'm like, you know, pull me along a little bit. Like, give me a main goal that says, hey, this is what you should do next. If you want to do something else, that's fine, but here's where you should go.
at least Assassin's Creed is wrapping it in some sort of story.
Yes.
Like
And they
Far
always
Cry
mark those
5.
missions, yeah.
But I mean, even the side missions, like, yeah, there's always going to be icons for random loot and stuff, but even the side missions have some sort of story. Like, I'm playing Far Cry 5, and I'm going, just mark the barns. Don't make me talk to people. Be like, oh, there's a place over. Don't try to put this. This is so surface level story. Like, if I stumbled across it, you wouldn't give me this information. So it's just like, just mark it on the map. Let me just shoot all the things and make a straight line through and just, destroy everything in my path. Because it's like, this is just a waste of time if I have to talk to someone to get the location, because it's not like there's any story element to it other than just like, oh, well, see, you heard from a guy, so it makes it legit. Like, yeah, but there's other icons on my map that don't make any sense why I'd have those.
Yeah, I think, and another thing that I think with like these open world games that are also connected to the internet is like, you see a bunch of them on there that I literally am never going to have any interest in playing, which is like, hey, let's team up with like 50 other people and do this crazy race. I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to race with other people. If you do, that's cool, but like, let me turn that shit off. Like, I don't want to race with other people. I don't want to go to a lobby and be in a room with a bunch of people doing tricks on their bikes, and then all of a sudden we're racing down a hill. Like, I don't want to do that. I just want to play the game. And I don't know. I just feel like that there's a lot of that. So, but when I'm actually racing in this game, I think it's fucking great. I think the snowboarding feels wonderful. The jetpack feels awesome. The bike has a little funkiness to it, like when you're taking corners, but you get used to it pretty quick. It also pulls in another Ubisoft thing where it has colored loot. So like you can get new bikes and new snowboards, and they have like a fucking power level, and they have a color to them. Like, here's an epic, here's a legendary. I'm like, but
I hate that.
But the thing is, it looks exactly the same as the other one. It just is better. So like, if you're gonna do that, that's not loot. That's an upgrade. Just let me upgrade what I have.
Oh my god! Do you remember when they tried to make The Crew a thing?
Yeah, that game was good, except for like the mechanics around it. Like when you're just when you're just racing, it's good. But all the shit they wrap around it, I don't need it. And Wombat, if you're interested in Riders Republic, just wait like 30 days.
Oh, I intend to.
Ubisoft games like go super cheap, super quick. So
it's been released before Black Friday, so you gotta know it's gonna be on sale on Black Friday
for sure.
Yep.
Every single game they've ever released is like that.
Yep. So just give it a few days, it'd be all right. But no, that's a lot of stuff. I am playing a game. I can't even tell you what it is. So I'll be talking about that next week, I think. So yeah, that's kind of everything I played this week. A few surprises, a few standards, and a couple disappointments. But anyway, this is a big week. I don't know if y'all know this. This is like the week. So let's talk about what's coming out this week. We've got Conway, Disappearance of the Dahlia View, Fortnite, Minty Legends Pack, Hell Let Loose, Bloodshore, which is a Jaguar CD game?
I'm sorry, what's the name of the game you just said?
Bloodshore? It's an FMV game I believe was originally made for the Jaguar CD, if I remember correctly. And now it's finally making its... I don't know that it ever actually came out. I think it was a prototype.
Interaction... No, this is brand too new. Bloodshore is an interactive action movie about a televised battle royale between high-profile streamers, entertainers, and death row inmates.
Okay, so there's a different game that I'm thinking of that was a Jaguar CD game. Never mind. The Solitaire Conspiracy, Demon Turf, the most quietly big game of the year, Just Dance 2022, is out this week.
They always sell.
That thing will sell like crazy.
Yep.
Can you... this is not normal for me. There was a something that had Conway in the name?
Conway, the disappearance at Dahlia View.
Okay, sorry, because like when I typed in Conway game, it brought up Life. I don't know if you've ever seen that, where it's like it
You talk about Life with
automates.
Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence?
No, but if you type in Conway game on Google, it automatically starts playing the game as a video in the background, and it's just like pixels, and you watch them sort of spread like virus almost.
Interesting.
I know the game. I just didn't realize it's just called Life, technically, or the Game of Life, but obviously that's not the name of it anymore. So it's called Conway's Game of Life on Wikipedia.
Huh.
And so I knew it. I just couldn't tell you the name of the person that made it, but now I can, I suppose. So that's what happened when I typed it in. That's the reason why I was like, did they somehow decide that this was going to be ported? Clearly, they're unrelated.
Oh, and by the way, in case you hadn't figured out, I'm going through Series X and PS5 right now.
Yeah, because Solitaire Conspiracy is already out on Switch and PC. So
Yeah. The Binding of Isaac, Repentance, Ghost Sync, and then a couple of indie games you might have heard of, Forza Horizon 5, and Call of Duty Vanguard. Those are both
I didn't
out.
know that was out this week.
Yep, those are both out this week on Friday. PlayStation 5, we've also got Astria Ascending, which is pretty cool. First Class Trouble, Knockout City, and Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation Code Fairy.
Operation Code Fairy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Visage Enhanced Edition, which is a horror game. So there's your PS5 and Series X. For PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, a lot of the same stuff, but we've also got Tunch. How do you say that? Tunch? Tunche?
Punche.
Tunche. Blood Rally Show.
Punche.
Tunche. Fast and
Oh.
Fast and Furious Spy Racers Rise of Shifter, which, by the way, has two numbers in it. The word shifter does. And The Gardener and the Wild Vines. Whatever that is. PS4, a lot of the same stuff. We've also got Stilt Stand. And then Nintendo Switch. Again, I have to click into it because it has so many. We got Strike 10-Pin Bowling. The Suicide of Rachel Foster. X-Tase. X-Tase? E-K-S-T-A-S-E. How would you say that? X-Tase?
Taste. Sure.
QB Planets.
Ecstasy. Wait, spell it again.
E-K-S-T-A-S-E.
I'm betting it's ecstasy.
Ecstasy? Okay, I
Yeah.
could see that.
Just a weird way to spell it.
QB Planets. Tom Brady's on that. The Legend of Tian Ding. Cupid Parasite. Galaxy Shooter. Unpacking. World War Z. Obviously, there's a bunch of stuff on here that's on the other machines, too. Boy and His Blob. Captain Backwater.
Is that a new Boy and His Blob?
Yeah,
Or
well,
re-release to that one.
it's a remake, remaster, something?
it's a remaster of the Wii game.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say not. Yeah, I had a feeling that's probably what it was because I remembered that original one coming out on the, or not the original one, the one coming out on the Wii.
I'm interested to know if it has been worked on significantly since the PS Vita. I think it may have been on PS4.
It's made by
release
the
where
same people that did the Blood Rain remasters recently. one and
Well,
two.
Is it? Oh, sorry. When you say it's made by, like, that's the team that's remastering it.
Yeah, Ziggurat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The reason why is because like the cutscenes were, I think, like just the Wii cutscenes put on, which doesn't look great in high definition in comparison to the lossless assets from the game itself. So I'm wondering if they've done anything for the cutscenes this time.
I don't know. Lone McLonegan, a Western adventure. Magic Potion Millionaire. One Last Memory. Pinchcliffe Grand Prix. That for some reason makes me think of Heathcliff. And if there was a Heathcliff Grand Prix, I would totally fucking play that. Pretty Girls Panic Plus. Skeletal Avenger. Super Sami Roll. Where the Cards Fall. Air Stunt Racing. Animal Crossing New Horizons Happy Home Paradise. Circa Infinity. Destructivator SE. Emergency Driver Simulator. Encodia. Omnom Run. Pixel Heroes Megabyte and Magic. And The Prince of Landis. Then on Saturday, there's a game coming out called Dot Dog, like as in a period, D-O-G. I don't know what the fuck that is, but that's coming.
I don't know, but at first I thought you said dot dong.
I mean, on the Switch, would you really be surprised?
I would not.
Okay. All right, let's go into the news. There is a lot of news this week, but I'm going to start off with your free games. So if you have games with gold, this month you get Moving Out, Kingdom 2 Crowns, Rocket Knight, and Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes. If you have PlayStation Plus, you're getting 6 games this month because they're celebrating the VR. For PS5, you get Knockout City, as well as First Class Trouble. And then on PS4, you get Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Interesting. I've never played Kingdoms of Amalur, so maybe I'll give that a shot.
It's worth playing for free, for sure. It's a good game. For the VR games, you get The Persistence, The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, and Until You Fall. I don't know if that's like a instructions for VR, play this until you fall, or if,
Yeah.
you know. All right.
I got to tell you, I was not overwhelmed by that. What was the second game you mentioned? The one that's like Among Us.
For PlayStation Plus?
Yeah, the PlayStation 5 game.
Shit, I already closed the window.
Oh shit! It was just on the showcase. They did the like demo walkthrough of it.
First Class.
Did not look good. First Class, yeah, it did not look good.
First Class Trouble. Oh yeah, we'll talk about State of Play, which
that was
could have been
miserable.
an email.
Yeah. And in some of those cases, probably would have helped the games if they were emailed instead.
Yeah. Okay, well, we could pop right into that. So yeah, First Class Trouble was in that. Bug Snacks update called Big Snacks coming in 2022.
Yeah, that's a game that just completely fell off everyone's radar, mine included.
Yeah, everybody was all about Bug Snacks, and then nobody gave a shit about Bug Snacks.
That's what happens when your game is a meme game.
And also only on one system.
Well, yeah, there's that too.
Yeah, that doesn't help. We talked about First Class Trouble. Man, I watched that State of Play and I was like, ugh, okay.
Yeah, it was really disappointing.
Probably the biggest thing that came out of that is a new Star Ocean game.
Yeah, and the game part of it looks actually pretty fun, but man, oh man, it's got that voice acting that I hate, like the
weirdest
super
thing,
anime voice acting.
Yeah, 100%. The weirdest thing about this is that it's not exclusive. It's on everything but Switch. It's also the most shocking thing about the new Star Ocean announcement is that it's a JRPG that Square Enix is not skipping an Xbox version for.
Interesting. I wonder if it'll be on Game Pass.
I don't know. It's just Square Enix does not put their JRPGs on Xbox, but this one is coming. So found that weird, and it's not coming to Switch. That's also weird.
Yeah.
Was there anything else from that? Because I didn't have anything else on my list from that because everything else was just kind of ugh. I didn't.
Yeah, no, I was not impressed at all with that.
You know, I've given it credit before, for I knew more about the guy that made it, but that Five Nights at Freddy's was pretty good at
Oh
creating
yeah,
some horror. What the fuck did I just look at?
Oh,
yeah. I
the,
forgot that. Yeah, I forgot that was coming.
isn't that the
Like,
one where
Yeah,
you're like a
that was in
security
there too.
guard walking around through the like it's
Yeah,
actually
like
like
an actual.
you
you
move
Yeah,
actually get to walk
around.
around now, but
Yeah.
like they redesigned the animatronics
Yeah, they
where
look
they
like
look like
cartoons.
robot suits, and I'm like, I don't know what you think this like makes these games scary, but the fact that they were clearly animatronics is what was scary about them. Now, if they move too human, it's not.
Haha, too human.
Haha. Yeah,
Uh,
gonna have to
some
recall
people
it.
find that. Some people find that scary.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And it just it doesn't make any sense to me why they'd make that change. It's weird, and I cannot remember the name of the game that I wanted to call out that was it's like super popular right now. It's got the same sort of aspect, but like it looks way better. Some independent, I think, game where it's like this big cartoon character. Have you seen that going around?
I don't know what you're
Uh,
talking about. No.
no,
Oh God! Of course, I cannot remember it
is it
right now.
like is it brand new or is it had been around for a while?
It's like brand new,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know then.
and like it's a first-person game, but you actually move around. And there it is. Give me a second. Got to. It's in my Steam queue. Poppy Playtime.
I have never heard that name mentioned.
Me neither.
Poppy Playtime came out on the 12th of October.
Oh,
So not
it's-
brand new,
Yeah.
but I'm going to tell you right now, I have watched a video. I can never play this game. It actually was like, yeah, I won't make it through.
You know the funny thing that ends up killing a lot of games like that, as silly as it sounds, is as soon as a game like that that's popular comes out. It happened with Bendy and the Ink Machine. It happened with Five Nights at Freddy's. Whenever there's a game like that that comes out that's popular, it always ends up getting a fan-made remake in Roblox, and that's what the kids all end up playing.
Haha,
Really?
you want to segue that? Roblox has been
Oh,
down
hold
for
on.
2 days.
Oh yeah, well, that's the end of the conversation.
Yeah, like that's and like they haven't even really
That's
said anything
surprising.
about it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're being attacked.
I don't know. I just found that interesting that like they've been down quite a long time and they haven't like made a formal announcement about it. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah, to me it sounds like they're either being, but it's like a DDoS, and somebody's asking for money to stop it, and they can't switch servers fast enough because of probably a nightmare of coding. I've also heard that there was something for that. What's the pet game? Either know I've heard it before by listening to other podcasts, but it's like Pet Me or something like that, or
Yeah, I don't know.
No idea.
Adopt Me.
Adopt Me. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard that somebody on Reddit said that like there was something that you could get for free in Adopt Me, and a bunch of people went in to claim the code or something like that, and it crashed.
Huh.
I don't know how true that is, but
Internet's weird, man.
Yeah.
just to roll back because I want to give some credit. So Poppy Playtime is $5.69 on Steam currently, first person game, and it's these weird Muppety looking characters. Watch a video when I'm assuming its name is Poppy. Fuck if I know. Whatever the main creature is, that is actually terrifying looking with its big sharp teeth. The way it moves through the level is slightly terrifying because its arms kind of like reach out to pull itself forward. So you're moving through a vent as quickly as possible. And I was watching someone turn around, and because all of a sudden like YouTube was recommending me this game, so I was like, "What is this?" I don't usually follow this stuff. Watching this thing move through the level was actually disturbing how realistically it pulled itself through by putting its arms forward and pulling itself through the vent. And yeah, just some independent thing. I've never heard of the developer Mob Games at all. So when I look at like the new, it's their only game on Steam. When I look at the new Five Nights at Freddy's, it's like it doesn't seem to have the same impact as something like this one-off game or even its own series. So, which is very weird.
Yeah, I've never gotten into the Five Nights at Freddy's. I know it's big among the children's, but I don't know. I feel like they kind of oversaturated that game in the market.
Yeah.
All right, let's get through this. Lots of news. BlizzCon online has been canceled, and they've actually put it on hold indefinitely, which makes sense because why would you have a community event when right now your community is a little fucked up? So, no BlizzCon.
Speaking of canceled events, PAX East?
South,
that was
Yeah.
the one.
which it's funny because you know that they did that because people don't like Texas right now for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, I figured it was just because vaccine stuff. Because I heard nightmare stories coming out of one of the PAXs.
Yep.
Where like people were not being tested.
Yeah, and that's kind of a big fight down in Texas right now. So that's a combination of that and, well, Texas.
And Texas.
Yeah. There's going to be a Quiet Place game from Saber Interactive.
I'm assuming that has to require a mic, right?
I'm assuming that we really didn't need any more A Quiet Place. That first movie was fantastic. We don't need a game. We really didn't need a sequel to the movie.
Bird Box 4.
Yeah, we don't need another Bird Box.
A Quiet Place 3.
We're good. Nintendo released a new mobile game this week called Pikmin Bloom.
Yeah, it looks like Pokemon Go, only with Pikmin.
I mean, makes sense to me. Nintendo is publishing GTA, the Trilogy Remastered, and it requires a download, so all of the games are not on the card.
I wonder if it's not all I assume it's all the games are partially on the card.
I'd assume my assumption is GTA 3 is on the card. You gotta download San Andreas and Vice City.
Maybe.
Because they're all three separate SKUs on the other
platforms.
Are they? Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yep. Because like right now you can pre-install San Andreas on Game Pass because it's just its own separate install.
When's that supposed to come out again?
It's in like a week from Friday.
Okay.
Yep. Xbox Cloud Gaming is now on the console if you're in the beta update thing. I tested that out this week on a couple games. It works okay. I like that, like now when you select a game and the game card comes up, you can either install it or play from cloud for any game that supports cloud streaming. I tested it on a couple games. Why you would ever want to do that unless you just don't want to install it, I will never know because I was definitely getting artifacts and like that resolution is not where it needs to be. The input lag was good though. Like I could definitely tell it was there, but
You have Ken? Do you have your internet directly connected to your Xbox, or are you on Wi-Fi?
no, I always hardwire all my consoles. So
Yeah.
yep, and even wired, it's still not where you kind of want. I'll tell you what it's good for. It's good for checking out a game that you don't know if you want to download it. And it's good for completing reward quests. So, like, when you get those weekly quests, it's like, play a game of Dead Space. And you're like, well, I don't have it installed. Well, I'll just boot up that cloud version. Got my reward. Moving on. Did y'all watch the Halo Infinite campaign video that was released at, like, 6:30 in the morning on a Tuesday or whatever?
Did not. Oh.
I mean, it looks good.
Does it look like Halo?
Looks like Far Cry Halo.
Interesting.
There's literally like there are things all over the map. You got to take them down, like outposts.
That's a far cry from what Halo used to be.
It's true. You can also like spawn vehicles, like in Borderlands and stuff like that. Like you go to a terminal and you can spawn a ghost.
Okay.
It looks good. I mean, I will be interested to see if it kind of pisses me off in the whole, like, here's a bunch of dots on a map thing, but, like, the minute-to-minute gameplay looked like Halo, and it looks a shit ton better than it did last year when they showed that video. Like, graphically, looks a lot better. I mean, what are we? We're a month and a couple days from this game finally being out, and we've talked about it many times on the show, like, this game has to be good.
Yep.
And we're so fucking close to finding out if it is.
Yep. I'm excited for it. I really am.
Yeah, I'm excited for the campaign. I'm pissed that we're not going to be able to play together.
Yeah.
But
I'm excited to see how the fuck they either avoid 5 or work 5 in.
it's still continuing from the story in 5.
I know, but I mean, like, woof. That is
Yeah.
a bad story.
It was, but hopefully they can land this one. I
Hopefully they land a fucking spaceship on Cole, or whatever his fucking name is.
I want to love Halo again.
What was his name? What was the bad guy's name that you play
Locke.
as? Locke. Why did I think Cole? Yeah.
I want to love
Ugh.
Halo again. I really, really, really do.
Locke sucked.
Man, it's hard to believe. Like, Halo 4 was one of those games where you're like, okay, this is your guys' first like shot at this. It's not as good, but I can see like bits and pieces of good things. And then Halo 5 was just so fucking bad.
Well, Halo 4, it's like, okay, yeah, you know, they're establishing a new threat. It's gonna be a little rough, because you know it's not gonna pay off fully in the first game, because they're probably, unlike the first Halo, they're probably planning a trilogy outright this time. So, and then you get to 5, and you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, 5 was just like, wow, you like literally you shit the bed.
Don't you want to take down Master Chief? I've never wanted to do anything less.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Sales figures are out for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. PS5 is currently at 13 million, Xbox Series X at 8 million, but let's be fair, that's just how many there were out there to buy. Because you still can't buy these fucking things. Microsoft has confirmed that Game Pass is now over 20 million, and they are claiming that for the holiday season, for Christmas, there will be more Xbox Series X's available, so they might be a little easier to get over the Christmas shopping season, which makes sense because, you know, they're putting out Forza and Halo. You kind of want to have systems to sell those games with. So, Returnal 2.0 update includes a suspend cycle and a photo mode, so now you can save your runs. And somehow that didn't make the game worse than it already was, contrary to what the internet will tell you.
Yeah, and say not from understanding how people are like, yeah, you didn't really complete the game then. Yeah.
If you ever looked at me and said if you used a suspend feature, and that means you didn't complete the game, I would just have to be like, what the fuck is wrong?
I'd have you watch me get into my car as I slowly roll towards you to run you over.
Yeah, it's like, dude.
Conversation's over. I can't let you live.
The fact that you would say that, I just don't. Man, I hate that I see this shit in my Twitter feed all the time, but like I'll see people just.
I hate that you send me this shit.
I can't believe it.
Time.
I can't believe a grown ass person would say some of the things that are being said on the internet.
Come on, Ken. You've been on the internet 20 plus years.
I know, but it still shocks me. Like, can you imagine at your age, Ryan, getting on Twitter and saying some of the shit that these people say? And I'm not talking about, like, racial shit and insulting shit. I'm talking about arguing over the sales or a frame rate or something about a corporation.
Oh, man. Fan culture is...
Love me,
it
Daddy.
Can be the
like
worst. It's like, well, I mentioned before, it's like that with professional wrestling as well. The two fans or the two fan bases of WWE and AEW are constantly like saying and doing things like they're desperate for attention from those corporations, and it's like, dude, they don't give a shit about you. Like,
No, I don't give a fuck.
they're glad that you watch the product, sure, but they're not like. You think that any of them actually care that you're on the internet making yourself look like a fool?
Senpai AEW isn't going to notice you. Like,
Yeah.
get fucked.
I guess I'm just getting old to the point where like I can't believe, like I still stand by the fact that anybody that posts that shit, show it to like your family, like show it to your significant other.
Most of those people do not have a significant other. Ken, give me a break.
I understand.
Wombat beat me to it.
I'm just saying though, but like if you do have a wife,
You don't.
or a husband,
Like,
or whatever, like just show them your tweet from this morning where you were like, yeah, Xbox ain't got no games, man. PlayStation ain't got no VRR, man.
You know what's the most pathetic part about it, and this is where it's embarrassing. These people don't follow each other, but they search out things they don't like, or search out things they like, to then argue with others about pointless shit.
Oh, you couldn't be referring to something in specific, could you?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. But it's fucking weird, and you're weird if you do that. It's one thing if you were like looking for fellow fans of a thing, right? Like that makes sense to me. But man, I do not understand using like the Twitter search function to then make yourself angry to then argue with others.
I read a tweet the other day that I felt like perfectly summed up Twitter, and it said 95% of Twitter is just somebody making up someone else and then getting really mad at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's annoying too.
And I hate people that do XYZ when there's nobody has ever done XYZ, but I'm going to get mad at it anyway.
Or the you will never come in contact with the one person that did XYZ, so shut the fuck up. It's not worth a tweet. Yeah.
Yeah. We used to, back in my sales days, we used to call people like that telephone tough guys. They would act super tough and stuff on the telephone, and then in person.
Who's whipping somebody's ass over a video game?
Well, no, it's not just.
But that's my question, though.
Someone up, it's like trying to act tough, even just talk tough.
Like you get all like, you don't like PlayStation? I'm gonna fuck you up. Like, what?
Microsoft has the best games this year. Oh no! PS5.
Oh my god, I can't.
Boys, what you don't understand is you both look stupid.
Yeah,
equally.
100%. You look like.
You don't have to compete for the crown. You can share it.
Absolutely. One day at your house, one day at his house. You can share the pencil topper. It's fine. All right. PlayStation has also created a new PC label called PlayStation PC for their ports. Sackboy.
The end of the PlayStation.
Yeah, if it comes to PC, it's garbage. Sackboy Big Adventure appeared in the Steam database, so that's coming. And then the God of War PC port was confirmed to be built by Jetpack Interactive. So lots of PlayStation PC news this week.
Who is Jetpack Interactive?
I have no clue, but they're the ones doing the God of War PC port. He's going to look it up. He's going to tell you who Jetpack Interactive is.
I know I looked this up already, but they did the PS4 port of Orcs Must Die Unchained. They provided engineering support for Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2. They did a bunch of work on NBA Live 15.
No major games of their own.
Yeah, they provided engineering support for the Steam upgrade of Dark Souls.
So they're like a port house.
They're not even. Like, that's the thing. They did Unbound for Amazon Game Studios, which is unreleased. And then they're working on Project X right now.
Sure. I'm working on Project X too. You don't know what it is.
But yeah, they did work on 3 of the NBA lives, 14, 15, 16. You know,
NBA
seriously.
Lives?
Yeah, not
Oh yeah, that
the.
shit sucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I hope the PC port of God of War doesn't suck, because a lot of people have been waiting on that port.
Yeah, well, I hope
And like,
I hope you're right. I hope it doesn't suck.
Yeah, that's a great fucking game. Don't spoil it on by a shitty port on the PC. Don't do that.
And here's the thing. Yeah, like I was gonna say, like, is this the Dark Souls remastered port? No, no, no. This is the Prepare to Die edition. That wasn't good. That had a lot of technical issues because, like, the way the game was programmed originally was that I want to say that your weapon broke. Right, weapons can break in Dark Souls. Am I crazy?
No, they can break.
No, yeah, you're right.
Okay. Yeah, it was based on like the number of frames.
Yeah, and because it was designed at 30 frames a second.
Second, but you could run it at 60, so they broke in half the time.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so like a fan fixed it.
That's not.
Oh.
That's not comforting that they're doing the PC port of arguably the biggest PlayStation game coming to PC.
Yeah, I mean, like this article I'm looking at says, like, the prior ports of Horizon Zero Dawn, Death Stranding, Days Gone have had their own troubles, but this team does not inspire confidence.
I mean, PlayStation just bought a PC port house in Nixie's.
Apparently, they're like, fuck that. Look at these guys; they're cheap or something.
Don't make that choice. If you're gonna do it right, if you're gonna do it right. Don't fuck it up. The next feature coming to Xbox in the Insider program is Twitch streaming, so you can stream directly to Twitch from the Xbox, which why the fuck hasn't that been there for a long ass time? Who knows?
They had Mixer. And they refuse to acknowledge that it's gone from most people's brains now that Mixer ever existed. So
I was gonna
now they
say,
can-
Mixer's been gone a long time.
I know, but like that would have been a bad move if they were like, no, Twitch tomorrow. Yeah.
All right, let's pour one out for Vicarious Visions because they're losing their name after being merged into Blizzard.
You know, this might be the dumbest move I've ever seen a company do. Vicarious Visions seems somewhat disconnected to Blizzard, even if it's part of the same company, right?
Yeah.
You know, Blizzard, who's going through some legal problems right now. Maybe keep a crew separate from that.
Might be wise.
Yeah.
GTA San Andreas is coming to the Oculus VR.
Don't know why anyone would want to.
You think the
Oh,
hot coffee mod is in that? It's in VR, man.
It would be neat to see GTA 5 in VR since it's got the first-person mode.
Yeah, it's weird that they didn't just do that, but maybe the Oculus can't handle it. It is a mobile chipset, so.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, is it going to be first-person San Andreas, or is it just going to be through the VR version of San Andreas?
It's gonna be like a little diorama.
Yeah.
Amy Hennig has confirmed that her studio is now working on a narrative-driven Marvel game. I have a suspicion we're going to see a fuckload of Marvel games. I think they got tired of licensing that to one company and just said, fuck it, everybody, let's do one. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yep.
Like, we have one this week, but I feel like every week we have a new game that Xbox is working on, like one of their first the partnerships that they're doing. I wouldn't be shocked at some point that we hear about Xbox has a Marvel game as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I just hope they keep the quality up and it doesn't turn into another Games Workshop situation.
100%. And so far, Avengers was a little rough, but Guardians of the Galaxy is good. Spider-Man is good. You expect Wolverine to be good. So, you've only really had one miss so far since this kind of new initiative. So.
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be part. Say there's Ultimate Alliance 3, which
that game
there.
wasn't.
I didn't play it.
It
so.
wasn't awful, but it wasn't.
It was there.
It was there exactly.
It's not bad. You're not gonna be like, oh no, I wasted my money, but you're also not gonna be like, this is the best thing ever.
Let's be fair though. If you go back and try to revisit Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2,
I want better than 3.
I didn't like 2
the
very
character-
much.
Yeah,
2 was not good.
My friend sent
X-Men
me
Legends was
screenshots.
better, honestly.
Yeah, the Legends games were incredible, but those were Raven Software, so.
Yes.
I was sent screenshots of 3. So my friend's like, I don't think this is as good as the other 2. And then it was just like they're talking about a character who he is playing as, but that they're going to meet. It didn't make any sense. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
they didn't really put a lot of thought process into this story, huh?
That game was made by Team Ninja,
Yeah.
which is weird. All right,
And Nintendo only.
our weekly new Xbox game. I got one this week. This one kind of threw me back a little bit. It's called Project Belfry, which obviously these are all project names. It is a Dragon's Crown style game made by the Banner Saga people.
Oh man, that's right up my alley because I
Yep.
loved both of those games.
Yep. So that's the new rumored Xbox first party game. Last week we had fucking Wu-Tang. Why not this week have a Dragon's Crown made by the Banner Saga people? Why not?
Yeah, I will play the shit out of that if that's real.
I mean, at this point, Microsoft's got so many fucking games that they're making. Like, let's put one out, you know?
Yeah.
Like, let's get some games out there, guys. Because if Microsoft puts out all these games that we keep hearing about, Xbox gonna be kind of fucking big.
Xbox has no games.
Well, they ain't got no games that are out. They got a lot of them coming. It makes sense though. Like I heard somebody compare this to like Netflix now. Like Netflix has got to create so much fucking content because they're a subscription service. And let's be fair, Xbox is just fucking Game Pass at this point.
Yeah.
So,
True.
you know, they're gonna have to get to a point where we're getting a new big game every month at the minimum. So, all right, I got 2 more stories. I think I'm gonna go with this one first. Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack is out, and of course the speedrunners, the people who dig in to the behind the scenes stuff. That emulation kind of trash.
I mean, did you expect anything less?
I mean, here's the thing. You can do this for free. If you're gonna charge $30 for it, you might want to make it better.
Remove
Yeah,
the third.
I think it's been proven just about a million times at this point that anytime the main company tries to do emulation, it never ends up as good as the fan people that emulate.
Yeah.
Well, fan people have, 20 years of trying to get this to work properly?
Yeah, but you'd figure that the company who made the original hardware would have a leg up in that sense, but
But I would say that they don't, because this is not worth investing a lot of money into.
Which is crazy
Or whether
because
you-
they're doubling.
charging people for.
But Nintendo doesn't devalue their games, except putting them on shitty emulators, apparently. Wop wop. To me, it's like it's never going to be as good because they have not been investing their time and effort into making a perfect one-to-one emulator, or as close as possible, because they haven't had a necessity for it until recently. But what doesn't make sense to me is that this emulator is bad. Like, not, it's a little off, right? It's not as good as the fan stuff, because it's never going to be. Because the fans have a passion for the product, and the companies have
You got a
interest
passion
in
for
money.
your money.
Yeah. What I don't understand is how bad the Switch one is when you look at the Wii U and the Nintendo Wii.
The most amazing thing to me is like the way they map the buttons and that you can't remap them. I don't know if
Wow.
you've seen it.
That's been this stupid emulation that, like, just why can't I not get rid of the stupid letters that pop on the bottom of the Super Nintendo stuff? Like, it's been weird, but yeah, the mapping is terrible because of course it is. But I mean, like, the screenshot that's been going around that I'm
Zelda.
sure both of you have seen, the Zelda, and it's specifically the room where you fight a Dark Link, and that is a very pretty scene that stands out because it's very odd. And it is completely ruined in the Switch Online version. Like, if that is the version you've played for the first time, you will not understand, because it's just this weird texture on the floor, all the fog is gone, and basically that whole sequence is just ruined.
Well, let's also let's not forget about the fact that the emulator thinks that a memory pack should be there and it's not there, so it fails.
Yeah, that one's also weird. This is apparently the same emulator that was used for the Mario collection,
Yes.
3D All Stars. So did they just test it with Mario, I guess? Like that, I have to assume that that's the case.
Also of note, in the digging into the code, there are placeholders for 38 total games, I believe. So that's kind of where they're at right now. They're planning on releasing 38 games. Here's the thing, and you're right. Nintendo doesn't have to give a shit about this, because all those of us who are complaining about it, we already paid for it.
I did not.
I know you didn't. I don't think Wombat did either. But like people like me who really want this stuff, I paid for it the day it came out.
So the one thing I'll say, the benefit they have is that N64 emulation is has a reputation for being difficult and touchy and not perfect. So that's the one thing that helps them, is there's not a lot of great N64 emulators out there anyway, unless you have a really sort of beefy system.
This, however, is probably the worst I've ever seen.
Oh no, I believe it. But what I'm saying is, it's not like the Super Nintendo emulator, where it's like there's at least two that are good, one of them exceptionally good. N64 emulation is tricky.
Yeah.
So it's like Sega Saturn emulation, right? If they wanted to add a good Sega Saturn emulator that was even, I'll say, decent, it would be a step up from most Saturn emulation.
Your voice is doing that thing again.
Is it? Where it sounds like I have a lisp?
Yes.
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 Nice.
You're like,
Beefy
you're
Saturn
like,
emulation.
you're like, if you want a good Sega Saturn emulator.
Oh, that's great.
I love it.
I wonder how many people there are out there listening to this show that think that's how I talk because of the way my voice sounds on here.
It only does it sometimes. It's like,
Yeah, it's not even.
It's
Not even the whole time.
No, it's not consistent. You're like, I wonder how many people think I sound like this. Damn it.
That's hilarious.
So good. No, but you're right. Yeah. What's funny though is like nobody's talking about it, but the Genesis emulator on this son of a bitch is fucking badass. Like it's really good, but then again, Genesis emulation not that hard.
Easy. Yeah, you can run Genesis emulation on just about anything. So
more of a surprise when it's not great, like that Genesis collection that's also on the Switch.
Yeah, like this is obviously much better. Like I booted up Contra Hardcore, and my God, it runs so good on the Switch.
Yeah, like I was listening to a podcast where they were talking about the N64 emulation, and it's something I can speak to because I don't know how many people tried it. Like, you could get N64 games running on the PSP. However,
yeah,
there's basically only one game that worked and it had no sound, and that was Mario 64.
Yeah.
Other things could start up, but you wouldn't get very far. And, like, I feel like this emulator is probably, like, it plays Mario 64, that we're done. It's good. It's all golden.
That's probably Nintendo's kind of thing. Like, it plays Mario 64. We're good. All right, let's cap off this news with the fucking wildest thing I've seen all week. There's apparently a Smash Brothers style game coming from Warner Brothers, which features characters such as Fred Flintstone, Bugs Bunny, Rick Sanchez, Batman, and Gandalf.
Yes. And LeBron James. You missed LeBron James.
That's supposed to be the first DLC character, from what I hear.
Correct. Yes.
Which, that's how this game's going to work, is that it'll be free to play, and then any additional characters that they add, you will have to purchase them.
Not terrible idea.
Like I said on Twitter, fuck it, I'll play it.
I mean, if it's competent, I'll play it. It's just there's so many games that have tried to clone Smash, and very few of them have done it well.
Yeah. This one's at least got Shaggy in it.
Let's run down the bad.
Like Brawlhalla tried to clone Smash a little bit. What was the one on Switch?
I know what you're talking about.
I
Brawlhalla.
reviewed it. Now I can't remember the name of it.
Fuck,
Brawl
it's got
Star?
Yeah, Brawl Out.
I was gonna say it's got the
Brawl
frog and shit in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Brawl Out, which is the Ubisoft one, right? Yeah.
No, that's Brawlhalla.
That's
Yeah.
Brawlhalla?
Yeah,
See,
Brawl
they're
Out
already
is
falling.
not. Brawl Out is like animals. It wasn't. I mean,
Merge.
it wasn't terrible, but it's on the Switch, and like if I'm gonna play a game like that on the Switch, I'm just gonna play Smash.
Yeah, like the Nickelodeon game came out and it was more than competent, but people have already fallen off of it because, well, it's not fucking Smash. So you gotta have both the solid gameplay and the characters people care about. Because let's be fair, Smash succeeds mostly because of, well, the music and the characters and the stages and the nostalgia.
And the assist trophies.
Yeah, it's all the content. It's not just the gameplay; it's the content.
Does anybody remember? So there's Shrek Super Slam, I think, is the one.
Yeah, Shrek had one. So did
Beautiful Joe.
No, there's another one that I'm trying to think of.
Beautiful Joe did have one.
Beautiful
he
Joe
did.
did have one, but there's another one I'm trying to think of. Fuck, it was Capcom. Onimusha had one.
Oh yeah.
Onimusha had a
Mutant Ninja
Smash game.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had one.
No, that was the
Yes.
2v2
Yes, they did.
fighting game.
Yeah,
No.
Tournament Fighters is. You're not thinking
No.
of Tournament Fighters?
Nope. Give me a second. I will
The
have
Turtles
to
are in Brawlhalla. I know that.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Smash Up. Boom.
What the fuck was that on?
2009, PlayStation 2, and Wii.
Oh God, I remember this game. Now that I see the screenshots,
Told you they had
there's a
one.
reason why I blocked it out of my memory, Anthony.
Guardian gave it 2 out of 5 stars.
That's too high. That game was.
I don't know which
bad.
version they were playing. Maybe it was PS2.
I don't care. It doesn't
I have
matter which
controls.
version you played.
What if we made all the turtles ugly as hell? That's a great look. They were really looking at Smash Brothers Brawl and was like, what if we added more detail?
Ugh, I don't know. I don't like Smash Brothers. I ain't gonna lie. But see, the thing is I like everything around Smash Brothers. Like the music, the characters, the stages, the trophies. Like, I love all of that. I just don't actually like playing the game.
One. We missed the biggest one. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
Yeah. That
Man,
game's not that great.
the main boss of that game is Polygon Man.
Then there was the Nickelodeon one. Bounty Battle.
Oh
Another one that
yeah,
had
I
indie
remember
fighters in it.
that. Yeah, the indie Smash. There's been about 15 indie Smashes. The original rumor about this Warner Brothers one, though, was that it was being made by NetherRealm, which, by the way, is not true. I don't know who it's being made by, but it's not NetherRealm.
Rivals of Aether.
That's-
There's another one.
There's too many Smash clones. Stop it. But I'll play this one, because fuck it.
Batman.
Well, I mean, Batman versus Rick Sanchez. Come on. Tell me that's not a dream matchup.
Not really, because I didn't think too hard about that before. Now I'm face to confront it.
We got emails.
Oh, one more thing.
No, go ahead.
Yes, Lego. You know how Lego's been doing the Mario sets?
Yeah, they did Luigi this morning, right?
Yeah, they've announced Luigi's Mansion once. which is
Nice.
kind of awesome. To the point where they've given the Luigi figure the Poltergust.
Oh, nice. Is Guigi in it?
Not yet, maybe. I didn't get a good look at the sets, but now I have to find out.
Because Guigi is still the most underrated Nintendo character. Sorry if you disagree.
I mean, it's a character for sure. I'm not seeing Guigi.
Okay. Well, that's a
I'm
shame.
seeing Egad,
Well, you gotta have
a bunch of
Egad.
ghosts, and King Boo.
Yeah.
And the dog, whatever the dog's name, I can't remember.
I don't remember the dog's name either.
Ghost
I don't
dog.
remember the dog's. Yeah, I don't remember his
But
name either.
not the movie Ghost Dog.
What about Ghost Dad?
Yeah, we don't talk about that. I was talking about Ghost Dog the Way of the Samurai, and you decided to bring up Cosby, really?
I mean, Ghost Dad.
Okay, fun fact. I'm looking at I got a bunch of old, really good condition. Wow, I turn it over. There's a Lynx ad on the back for $100. Old D&D comics. And in the back of the comic, this is one time Bill Cosby doesn't want high ratings, so I can think of another.
I saw, so they renamed McCree from Overwatch to Cole Cassidy.
Yep.
I saw that you have to be careful because there's a porn star named Cassidy Cole.
Ah.
So, Blizzard, what are you doing?
That's what they get.
I saw probably the most distasteful thing is I saw somebody say, well, they probably should have just renamed him Bill Cosby. And I was like,
Ugh.
come on, man. Don't do that. Which, by the way, I know nobody cares about Overwatch, but I did my final Halloween thing this week. I think I'm done with that game for quite a while.
Oh, they actually change it? You said this before, though.
I did not have fun. Like, I wanted my Roadhog clown skin, but I did not have fun in any game that I played to get it. I just... That game is bad now. But anyway, we got emails. First one comes from Jeremy. I've been holding on to this one because we missed it, I think, last week. It came in after. He says, hey, dudes, I finished Metroid Dread the other night. That ending was a banger. I found that end boss needed a little more concentration than most of the others. That got me wondering, what is a concentration breaker for you guys? I can usually stay in my bubble and focus with background noise, but if something touches me in the slightest, that bubble pops. I always found that a little weird. What do you say?
Well, if I'm doing anything and something randomly touches me, there's going to be a problem.
That's true. That's true. I was trying to think if there's anything that would break my cut. So I can't write reviews while listening to music. That's the weird one that I can't do.
Can't write reviews listening to anything.
Yeah, well, I can't listen to anything when I'm writing. But like even like music, like some people can listen to music while they're writing. I can't listen to anything. Especially podcasts would be the worst because I'm trying to pay attention to that. But I can't listen to music while I'm playing, and I can hold a somewhat conversation when I'm playing a video game. I don't think anything throws me off as far as a video game goes unless, like he said, somebody touches you. That would definitely throw me off.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, it depends on what I'm doing, really, in a video game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Anthony.
well,
I
it's
thought
just
you
like
were-
using the final. Sorry, yeah, I really did stop and just lead you into that trap. To cut you off. Can't get enough, Ryan. The end boss of Dread. Yeah, it required a lot of concentration, but I don't think anything would stop me. Like, I'd say if I couldn't pause, there'd be an issue, but I just could pause the game and, you know, deal with whatever external factor is bothering me, and then go back to it. So I'm done now. You're good to go.
I don't tend to play games with much concentration anymore anyway, unless I'm home by myself, and I'm almost never home by myself. So I feel like I play games in a constant state of potential distraction. So yeah, I don't know. I'm very noise sensitive. So even at work, if I'm working on something that I really have to concentrate, I have to shut my door because I can't stand hearing people talk outside
It's
my
happening
door.
again.
What?
It was
It's
happening. I was
happening
trying not
again.
to
All
laugh. I was trying not to
words.
laugh.
Just,
No, but
I have
I'm
to
totally there
close
with
my
you.
door.
Yeah, like I'm totally there with you. When I started working, remotely from home, I had to. That was one of the keys when I bought this house. I was like, I have to have an office
Yeah.
because I can't have, noise running through the background because it'll just distract me.
Yeah, it's too easy for me to get wrapped up in people's conversations if they're out in the hall, or if I hear of a problem going on, even if it's not something that's in my wheelhouse, my brain starts spinning on different ways to fix it.
Yep.
So I always have to just shut my door, lock myself in, and concentrate on whatever it is I'm trying to work on. I can usually, if I'm doing, depending on what kind of work I'm doing, I can listen to music, but normally I have to try to listen to music that doesn't have lyrics. So like I found that the Morrowind soundtrack is good to listen to when I'm trying to concentrate on something. But yeah, it's hard for me to. I've never been good at concentrating my entire life, so a lot of things break my concentration.
All right. I got an email here from Francisco titled "Game Scalpers Long Email." Hello, guys. Francisco here. It's been a while. I've been trying to write, but my career at the retail industry has kept me busy. It's a shit show. The only thing that has kept me going is Anthony's rants and the dream of Drew's feet pics.
Okay, well,
Yikes.
I don't like being lumped in with that.
Oh man! In the limited time I've had to play, I've beat Death Stranding, and I got to say I was impressed and enjoyed it very much. I'm also a huge Battlefield fan, putting easily a couple thousand hours between the last 4 Battlefield games. Sadly, I've been put off by how much hacking, cheating goes on the PC side. I will never understand why people even do that. It doesn't make sense. I'm right there with you, brother. When I see people cheating in Overwatch, it used to drive me crazy. I'm like, how do you even have fun playing?
Can I somewhat answer this? And I don't speak from experience personally doing it. It's the same reason why people get off on going on Twitter and searching for a subject matter that's going to make them angry so they can argue. They just want to be a shithead. That's it.
I mean, it has to be what it is, because I'll tell you what, if I was cheating in a multiplayer game, like, there's no sense of satisfaction. The whole reason to play a multiplayer game is to be competitive.
Yeah.
Like, and if you remove the competitive aspect of it, why don't you just go play, like, a single-player game and put on invincibility? Like, I don't get that. Anyway, but I played the 2042 beta, and I enjoyed it for the most part. I just don't know how much I like the influence that Call of Duty has had on it. On that note, I also hear when you guys praise when developers make their games more accessible, like putting in easy mode or patching the game based on what certain people want. I personally enjoy when devs make the game they want to make, even if a lot of people don't like it or get put off by it. I know that might be a controversial view, but that's mine.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I respect that and I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, like, don't bitch that your game ain't selling if you're not trying to be accessible. Like, that's my thing.
My take on it, and this is shown by an indie dev this year with Untitled. They made the game they wanted to make. And yes, it came up as an update. Whether it be updated later or be in the game, there is a clear, like, look at Doom. Look at every Doom game. They kind of give you a general idea of what they expect from you, but then they make a very hard mode and they make a very easy mode. Do they kind of mock you for it? Yeah, but like they clearly understand that, like, there is a wider audience, and if they only stick to like no one has an issue when the hard mode is added. So I don't understand why there's such an issue with an easy mode being added. Because and this is just outside of me, I don't give a shit most of the time. If I'm not enjoying a game, I'll just check out. I don't need an easy mode, although with Metroid Dread, that is not what I'm asking for. I'm asking for a better designed map. Anyways, the I'm asking I'm asking on the fact that there are people that literally cannot join the conversation that want to because they physically can't. You know, like his
Or
name is
mentally.
Steven Spawn?
Don't discredit
Well, that
mentally.
too.
Yeah,
that's
like
true,
Ryan
too.
talking
But-
about lack of concentration. Like if a game has you spinning too many plates, his lack of concentration, he couldn't keep up with that, so then he wouldn't be able to join the discourse either.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's where I kind of like when you start having like that's where kind of the reason why I didn't like Doom Eternal. It had me. It was asking too much of me as a player. Now that being said, a lot of people liked it, and I played on normal, so that's what I get. You know.
Yeah, there's definitely an easy mode in that game that makes that plate spinning a lot more forgiving.
But I said, you know what? This is the game they made. I will go through it that way because I played the first game on normal, and I kind of like walked away from the experience going, I'm kind of done with this. And honestly, it didn't even have to do with so much the plate spinning. I just didn't enjoy the game levels even as much as the first. So I'm okay with that. But like even they had like some idea of like, well, there's there's a range that we can have. And going, this is the game I want to make. Like you said, Ken, you can't complain if it doesn't sell, but at the same time, like, what if you sell this to a game and you're not upfront about it? And I use The Witness, which is a game that seems very accessible on a wide scale, even though it's very difficult, right?
Mhm.
You know, your mother could play it type of thing. Like, you know, you could hand it to someone who doesn't play video games, and there's a mode that literally moves you around like Myst. You just tap where you want to go, and then you can just play the puzzles. And there's a puzzle in that game that, well, first of all, a lot of it's color based, and if you can't detect shades of like green, you're not going to be able to solve some of the puzzles. And if you can't hear, or you have hearing problems, there's a puzzle you just can't solve. There's no way around it. And I specifically call him out because he thinks he's a genius. But it's moments like those that I'm thinking about. Because at the end of the day, who gives a shit about my opinion? Like what I like and don't like, right? Because that some of it's going to boil down to taste. But there are people that literally cannot enjoy everything. So when you think about that person, it makes your game better. And sometimes that requires a difficulty option. Because I had a teacher who can't mash buttons. So he would have liked to play God of War, but he couldn't because it kept asking him to mash buttons, and he just doesn't have the dexterity because he had polio as a kid. And so when that option came in a lot of PlayStation games to simply hold the button down, he could suddenly play all these games that he wouldn't have been able to access before. So it's stuff like that when people go, well, it's their vision. Well, if the vision is mashing buttons and that's not up front, and when that person gets there and there's really no such thing as returning video games, we have a problem, right?
Yep.
So it's more than when we talk about difficulty, this isn't just a conversation about I don't want to play the game, which is what and I'm not saying that's what the email is saying. I'm saying that as a just general consensus of what people seem to hear. No, this is about like time management. This is about accessibility. Like there's more to this than just like I don't want to play it because it's hard.
Yeah, 100%. There's a lot of games. There will be games that like I play leisurely that I'm not reviewing or I'm not, being forced to play. Where like if you put an easy mode in there and you just kind of give me a power fantasy and let me blast through it, sometimes I will just enjoy the shit out of that game even if it's not the greatest game on the planet because A, like you said, it respects my time. So like I don't have to get frustrated doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again and just dying. Whereas, like, there are times where I do enjoy that. Back when Overwatch was good, I could lose 20 games in a row, but it wasn't frustrating to me. Because I was like, I'm learning something new. Ninja Gaiden Black was another game that I played that would just constantly beat me down, but it was at a time when I had time to actually go back and do that, and I loved that. But now, if I'm playing a game leisurely, the last thing I want to do, I'm a lot like Wombat. I get so much time to play so many games, and if you're going to have me spending, 90% of my time redoing the same thing, we're not gelling, man. I'm not playing you. Like, I don't have time to replay the same thing over and over and over again. So, like, just give the option. Like, Psychonauts did it wonderfully, and people got so pissed. You can play Psychonauts 2, and you can turn on invincibility, and just play through it. So, like, you don't have to worry about dying.
And, like, it's funny, you meant, like, previously, there was talk about cheaters in multiplayer. These are single-player games. You don't get a medal for finishing single-player games on hard. Yeah, you get an achievement. We're not giving the achievement or trophy or whatever to the people that, like, if there's
and even if they did, who cares?
Hard, but even then, yeah, who gives a shit?
Who cares about trophies and
the
achievements anymore?
The president doesn't come to your house and hand you fucking the key to the country. Oh, you finished it. Nothing's happening like that.
I think that's my biggest issue with people get mad because they're like, well, I don't want the game to be, different than the artist's vision is still there. Like, you can still play that version of the game, and the people that don't, who cares? Like,
use their money to subsidize your next vision.
Who, like, if you used a Game Genie when you were a kid, who cares?
Only cheating yourself. You're right. I am.
You're damn right, and I'm proud of it.
Excuse me while I walk through all doors in GoldenEye that are locked because I can just phase through them now.
Yeah. I ID clip the fuck out of Doom.
It's just...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, there's a big conversation, and I know people, like, that still happens about, using the term Dark Souls to describe stuff. And I get it. I get why it's annoying. But it's like, the reason why Dark Souls is brought up, and I know, like, Ken, you may not agree with this, but it is somewhat respectful of the player.
No, I agree with that.
Look at everything else that tries to be Dark Souls and realize that they're not Dark Souls. For small little reasons of, like, not respecting the player's time, it doesn't seem to fully grasp what makes that game good. And, like, I mean, obviously the devs have continued on with that formula through, like, Bloodborne and now whatever the next game is.
They started perfecting that shit, like, when they, that was, like, their thing with Kingsfield.
Yeah, Kingsfield, and I mean, even Armored Core to some extent, it was like...
Yeah.
This is stuff they worked out over time, but all these people were like, well, Dark Souls is hard, but like Dark Souls is fair. It doesn't really waste your time. It punishes you for being foolish. But it's like, the reason why it's brought up as like something is Dark Souls like might be for the wrong reasons, but they're also never as good as Dark Souls because like Dark Souls isn't like an inaccessible mess. It's not just difficult for difficulty's sake. And, like, that, to me, is a part of accessibility that, like, it also needs to be acknowledged. And, like, I get it, Dread, like, a lot of people are like, but, you know what, some people, like, I've played other Metroid games. Like, I don't know where this conversation, and I fall back on it because it's, like, the more and more I hear about it, people keep saying, and when I've wrote the review, even though I paid for the game, people are like, well, Metroid, it's, all those Metroid games that tell you where to go. The majority do. The majority of them do now. You can't even tell me I'm wrong on that. The majority of Metroid games tell you because they realize that your time is important. They aren't going to waste your time. If you want to explore, there's bonuses for you. The same with Dark Souls. If you want to explore, there's more for you there. But as a player, you don't have to engage with everything. Can you imagine if Assassin's Creed only let you finish if you did everything on the map? You'd be like, everybody'd be like, oh, no one would defend that.
Yeah.
But that's what it sounds like when people are like, well, no, this is the creator's vision. Well, the creator put a bunch of marks on a map, and you better finish all of them before the game's done. It's not like that. Like, there's ways to be flexible with design. If your design is, in stone, this is what it's going to be, and there's no moving from this, well, then you're going to have the audience you have, and that's going to be it. Because eventually that audience is going to push everybody out.
Right.
It's been really annoying reading shit about Metroid
No, it is.
online as they argue whether or not it's a Metroidvania, and you know what? It doesn't matter. None of this matters. It's all fucking video games.
Yeah.
Allow people to enjoy or not enjoy the things that they, But when people go, could this be more accessible? And you go, fuck no, there's a problem. Because ultimately it's a single-player game. What's wrong with you? And
Yeah,
I'm not
who cares?
trying to be mean to the person that wrote the thing. It's just like, because it's, at least he wrote it in a more eloquent way, but it's just the dialogue that's happening online. This is the stuff I see that I just don't send to Ken because Ken wants to ruin my day and I don't want to ruin Ken's.
You know what? I don't care what your opinion is, as long as you're not like, as long as you're not just sitting there going, well, this is the way it should be, and there's no other thing. Like, if you think that that's how the developer, that's fine. I don't care, but I disagree. But I'm not going to go online and tell you you're a fucking moron because you think this. I'm just going to tell you that I don't agree with it.
I will make a small addendum to my statement. I do not think that should be added, or I don't think that the vision of the creator or the studio or whatever should be compromised to add that in. But I don't think, like, if the publisher goes and says that's too hard, you have to make it this way, and they're not allowed to see their vision through, then there's a problem. Because that starts to get into the territory of, like, where Hollywood says, that's how you get Fantastic Four, the last Fantastic Four movie. It's just a mess, or Suicide Squad, It's like, when it starts to do that to a video game and just totally ruin it, yeah, we have a problem. But that's usually not the case. And I think
Lords
that
of Shadow 2.
Yes, Lords of Shadow 2 is a good example, actually.
Yeah, Konami shit all over that game's development, and then, when you play Lords of Shadow, that was a great game. And you look at 2 and you're like, well, yeah, somebody had their hands in this pie.
And that's where I would agree. That, like, yes, the creator's vision should not be tampered with. But I don't think difficulty is generally where that conversation lies. It's usually about content within the game.
All right. Rest of this email. Lastly, working in retail, I can tell you we get a substantial amount of Xbox Series X and PS5, and demand is quite high. But the biggest issue is scalping. As a manager, I've had to kick people out and receive threats from people that want to buy all of our stock, and even using order online and pick up at store to get around limits. We have people that try and use aliases and even have random people pick up their orders to buy more than one. I also spoke to some that have successfully gotten around the limits, only to have 10 to 20 consoles stockpiled for weeks, only to return them when they can't offload them for scalper prices. This is also spread to action figures, Pokemon cards, and sports cards, and I wish I could tell you this was younger people, but sadly the demographic is in the late 30s to early 40s.
Yep. And the Pokemon card thing is out of control.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Target
My-
stopped selling them, right?
They started again, but they've got limits on them. But so my son really likes Pokemon cards, and actually my wife does too. And so every time we go to Target, they look to see if there are Pokemon cards, and I'd say probably half of the time they're all gone. They're already all sold out. And it's not kids. Like, it's not kids buying up a whole bunch of cards.
No.
It's 35-year-old men that are buying them so they can try to sell them.
Yeah. It's a hustle, man. I remember it back in the day. You remember when Star Wars came back around, the figures?
Yep.
Like Walmart would put those out at 3 o'clock in the morning. Who's going to be buying them at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Are you talking the 90s ones?
Was it late 90s? It was Phantom
Yeah,
Menace.
'cause it
Phantom
was-
Menace time.
Well, it was before the Phantom Menace where this figure started coming out, because I had a Darth Vader that was long before Phantom Menace. And I
Yeah.
remember having
Well,
trouble finding that. So,
Well, yeah, I mean they had the figures in the late 70s and early 80s as well,
Yeah.
and then they re-released some of those.
Yeah, but I remember going
Inner
in
one.
and like they'd put them out at 3 o'clock in the morning, and which makes sense because that's when there's they have the time and there's not many people in there. But then like people who like we would go to get the figures that we needed because we were nerds trying to collect the figures. But you would see those like grungy dudes from like flea markets in there just literally taking the box because they knew the box had this specific set of figures in it that were hard to get. And they
Yep.
would just buy the whole thing. So,
Yep, flea market economy, man.
yeah.
I worked in that flea market economy for several years.
It's crazy, man. It's just like I don't like to see people not be able to get things. It sucks.
Grown men fist fighting over boxes of Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah. For what? Like a $4 profit?
so
Oh,
the-
some of them made more than that, but yeah.
No, sure, but
100
like
bucks.
per card or whatever, it's just
Yeah.
like, come on. He says to end on a happy news, the Switch is still selling like crazy, and as for the OLED Switch launch, I'm happy to report that all of our 2 consoles we got sold in record time. Anyways, guys, thanks for reading my long email. Have a great rest of your weekend, and happy Halloween.
sorry for getting heated, and just
Happy Halloween.
online has ruined me.
Yeah. People are shitty online. That's for sure. All right.
Just like online ruined Pokemon cards and consoles and scalpers. I'm just gonna blame scalpers for everything because they're just shitty people.
I mean,
They
people
are.
are shitty in real life too. It's
True.
it's just most
Oh,
of the
no.
time they're too afraid to say or do anything when they actually have to own up to it with their name attached.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying. I'm just gonna blame scalpers for it all. In real life, online, fuck them.
Yeah. We've watched the internet age of people saying things to you that they would never just say to your face.
True story.
I recently bought tickets to a concert, and they asked to have my name. Like they asked for the names of the people going on the tickets. It's not even a big event, but I'm like, yeah, okay. I've been waiting for this to happen for a long time. So
All right, let's finish out with the tweets. Mookie wants to say, "Yo guys, try Gunfire Reborn. It may be early access, but it's one damn good game that loves quick time FPS shooter experience and simple loot management." Never heard of it.
I have. It's got like a little cat and character.
Oh,
It's yeah, like I recognize it's shown up on Steam, and some people like I've watched on YouTube have covered it, even in its early access. Kind of got I don't want to say Borderlands look, but it's got that dark outline on all the stuff.
oh, I'm looking at a screenshot of it now. It's animals.
Yes,
I see that now. There's a big
is
dog.
it more than just cats?
I see a dog here with like
Oh.
pistol in each hand.
They must have added new characters. I know that at one point it was like limited to 2, and I wanted to say they were both cats, but maybe I'm wrong.
There's a girl with bunny ears. There's a falcon-looking dude. Yeah, it looks like some anthropomorphic animals. Alright, there's a frog. He looks like a vendor. My smartphone recommendation game for this week is Cook Serve Delicious. It plays way better on smartphones and tablets. And finally, Kingdom 2 Crowns has a new DLC coming soon, and I'm loving it. Another wasted hours for that game for me. OG Show says, so Sony PlayStation PC, guys with Game Pass on PC and Sony bringing its games over. PC gaming is a great value. Oh wait, the chip shortage is Bitcoin. Never mind.
Yeah, it's a real bad time to get into any sort of hobby.
Yeah. Here's a scary one. So, like, I keep going to the store, like the grocery store, and they're not restocking Oreos, man.
Is that because there wasn't there like a strike?
Maybe that's what it is. I just know that there are shortages of a lot of things, and Oreos was the one that hit me because I was trying to buy some double stuffs, and them bitches is sold out. I can't buy no double stuffs right now.
The strike ended on September 18th. Never mind.
Well, it just must be the supply chain. I can't get my double stuffs.
Well, here's a weird one. So, I know neither of you are really into comics a lot, but there's a comic right now called Something is Killing the Children, and it's super popular, as well as Department of Truth. And they're both from Image Comics. And Image would reprint the early issues. They're that popular. These are both series. One of them, I think, is like issue 14, 15 right now, and the other one's in its 20s. And each reprint was expensive. Like, the first printing was expensive. The second printing was expensive. Like, none of them would end up cover price because of how rare they were. And so Image just announced recently, because of paper shortages, they're not doing second reprints anymore. It's bizarre. Like, they've been making money because they can just keep reprinting the comic, because of how popular it is, and that's just going to end
I know.
on their 7th or 8th reprint of the first issue of Department of Truth and all that.
I don't know, Wombat, where you are with like Christmas shopping, but I know that a lot of the stuff that we were getting has been very low stock. So I've had to order things maybe earlier than I had wanted to.
Yeah, for sure. I was pissed because so last year we got my son a Funko Harry Potter Advent calendar.
Mm-hmm.
And he loved it. And so we were going to do the Pokemon one this year. And I ordered it the day it came out. Amazon finally shipped it to me. And then it got lost in transit, and they had to cancel my order. So I'm guessing it didn't actually get lost. I'm guessing they oversold their quality or quantity. Or could have got stolen. Yeah, I mean, they say that they shipped it. And it had a couple tracking numbers throughout it, but it just disappeared at that point. So yeah, whatever. So yeah, it sucks because now you can't find one, of course.
Yeah,
unless you want to pay $80.
We usually start like late September, early October to just like order like one or two things a week or something like that. And I know I had to order like 4 last week because they were all like, there are 2 left in stock.
Yep.
And I was like, well, shit. I guess I gotta order all this stuff. It sucks, man.
Yep. It sure does.
Ugh. Get this shit figured out. His next tweet says, anyone tried out Nintendo expansion pack? I hear it's really rough. It's cool to have N64 games online, but no voice chat? Xbox had that in 2002 with What Gives, Nintendo. Well, I mean,
I can tell you why Nintendo doesn't have voice chat. They're really afraid of... Like, I don't know if people remember, there was a Flipnote studio, and some creeps got in contact with children using that. I want to say it was Flipnote. I might have the wrong program, but it was a 3DS program. And, yeah, like, they are terrified of that happening again.
it's just like the Nintendo Online sucks anyway because you gotta do it through your phone.
Yeah, but that's the reason why they're trying to avoid dialogue. They do not want people talking to kids, and I don't blame them, really.
No, I don't
You know?
either, but like, kids can be talked to in a billion things online. You need to be a parent. Like a corporation, it's not the corporation's job to like monitor children. I mean, you make the things, you put them in place, but at the end of the day, it's the parent's job. Like,
You're right. But this is from the same company who went up and had someone go up and say like this would Night Trap is a travesty. So like they put themselves in that moral
Yeah, but
high ground spot.
let's back that up for a second, Anthony, and remember that that tweet I sent you this week about how like that game, the Naughty Girl game, like my son could just go look at that on the eShop. Like there's no censors
Yeah.
on the eShop.
I know.
So like don't tell me it's for like Nintendo is not for the kids, okay? Wu-Tang is for the kids. Nintendo's not for the kids. Anyway, I pasted the next tweet into the chat because you needed to see the pictures.
Yes, it is great. I love it.
DJ Misahara sends this tweet, says not game related, but how many kids have you made cry during Halloween? I made a Halloween mask for work and it made half of the school cry. Happy Halloween, guys.
That makes me a terrible person, but
The little kid with the thing over his nose, like that's the best one. Yeah. I mean that's a spooky mask. That looks like something out of Death Stranding.
yeah, it's a mix of the Purge and oh god, what's his Troy Baker's character? Troy Baker in Death Stranding.
Yeah, that's exactly who I thought of when I saw the mask, like Troy
I
Baker's
just can't remember
character.
the name of his character, but
I'm
he
sure
looks
it's
like Troy
something
Baker. He's voiced by
man.
Troy Baker. It's Troy Baker.
It's Troy Baker. It's something man, right?
No.
I'm sure it's some hot Coldman shit.
It's Die Hardman.
Die Hardman. And then
Is
there's
the one, but that's not his character.
Wasn't there
Pigs.
legitimately a hot Coldman in one of those games? Maybe I'm making that up.
I think you're making that up.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that's like a Metal Gear villain or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because remember, Metal Gear Solid 3 had the weird, like...
Oh
Yeah,
my
Hot
god!
Coldman.
Oh my god! Hot Coleman is a real name.
I told you.
Who is Hot
The
Coldman?
the CIA station chief of Central America during the 70s, who headed the development of the Peace Walker project in Costa Rica.
Okay, so it was a Peace Walker thing. Okay. Yeah, Hot Coldman makes
so
sense.
cringy. That sounds like a cringy.
I mean, it's Kojima. Every
You
single
just
character...
messed it up.
I know, just how.
Like the
And-
only
and
one,
hey-
the only ones that worked were the first game because they were named after animals, which sounds more military.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you had
And the-
Sniper Wolf and
Hey.
Vulcan Raven, and you know,
And you're playing a snake.
yeah, you're playing a snake. Like everybody in Revolver Ocelot, like they're all named after animals. And then you get into like when he got like, oh, the sorrow and the pain, and
The end.
yeah, just like, and then he goes to Death Stranding. It's like Hot Coldman or Die Hardman.
Die Hardman. Dead man.
Oh my.
With a
and
skull
it's-
face.
Well, no, it's Higgs Monaghan.
Yeah,
Is
Skullface
the
was
character
MGS5. MGS5 didn't have that many cool characters.
No, they wanted to recycle.
Yeah, I know. But, like, he's at his best when he's doing, like, some fucking whacked out character names.
I mean, they did have MGS5 did have Quiet,
Ugh.
who you were ashamed of your words and deeds once you found out why she had to not wear any clothes.
Yeah, because, you know, she's got to sweat.
She breathed through her skin.
Yeah, she's got to breathe through her skin. Because... I can't do this. I was trying to remember the MGS2 characters.
Fat Man.
Fat-
Fortune.
Fat
Vamp,
Man, yeah, with the roller skates.
roller skate explosives. Fortune. And
Fortune
Vamp.
was Vulcan Raven's kid, right?
No, Fortune is just her own. She's the daughter of the military guy who dies at the beginning of Metal Gear Solid 2.
Then there was Olga Kurlukovich.
Yeah.
Wasn't Vulcan Raven's kid in one of those? Wasn't she a bad guy in one of them?
I think
Hold
you're
on, let me
right.
just-
I think you're
But
right.
he probably one of the not spin-offs, but the other games.
I'm trying to find it. It didn't come up when I typed in Vulcan Raven Kid.
See, hold on.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
Might be incorrect.
I think you're right, though. I think somebody did have a kid that was in a later game. I don't remember what it was.
Well, Olga's kid is Sunny.
Yeah, but who cares?
Are you talking? Well,
Who cares about
and then
Olga?
the pain and the boss is obvious. It's Ocelot. Yeah, I don't know who else we would be talking about at this point. Like, future villains. All the
Yeah, I don't.
the female troops that you fighting for are based off of villains from the first game.
Oh God, remember the horny girls?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I
Where
always
if you
forget
went-
about
if
those.
you did the battle right, you could take photos of them.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ!
Can I just say, Metal Gear Solid 4 is a slog.
It is
Just a slog.
Not very good. There's
Yeah.
like one good part in that entire game.
When you return to
Shadow Moses.
Shadow Moses.
Moses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's
Here's
the
this
thing
really
everybody
cool camo
remembers about
system.
that game. Like if you try to go back and play that game, that opening sequence is so fucking boring.
You run into Drebin.
Drebin! Drebin with his monkey in a
It's a
diaper.
cutscene, but it's a cutscene that you have to do something in, so you can't put the controller down, even though it's gonna be like 20 fucking minutes.
Monkey in a diaper.
Monkey in a diaper.
Monkey in a diaper.
Monkey in a diaper.
Drebin! Like when you say Drebin, I think of like Frank Drebin from Police Squad.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's literally what he took the name from.
Rest in peace, Leslie Nielsen. Anyway, that's the show for this week. If you'd like to send tweets at us, it's at N4G Podcast. If you want to shoot us an email, it's podcasts@ztgd.com. Phoenix Down going on Diablo 2. I think they got one more episode of that. And Drew's not here to tell me what his next game is, so I don't know.
Isn't it a Yakuza that they're going to next?
It might be. They were supposed to do like multiple Yakuzas this year, and I think they've made it through 2.
2.
And it's November, so yeah.
Well, that was. I mean, that they're ahead of the game in terms of that. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
How long has it taken you, Ryan?
About 40 hours.
But we told Drew when he said this is the year of Yakuza, we're like, nah.
It's a year of a couple Yakuzas.
Yeah, like you ain't gonna get through.
They're still doing. They're almost as close as their year of the JRPG where they played a whole 4.
Yeah, I mean 4 JRPGs in a year is enough to make you not want to play JRPGs for a very long time. If you want to follow us on Twitter, I'm at ZTGD. Anthony's a complacent robot. Ryan is at Wombat RP, and you can follow the site at ZTGD Content. I don't think I have anything else. I think I said all that need be said. If nobody has anything else, we'll get out of here.
Alrighty. And it goes something like this.
Epic fail. Welcome to the N4G Podcast. Zero tolerance.
This is going to be a very interesting episode.
Gather time.
Greetings, programs. I got lost trying to find my way to the secret underground N4G Radio lair.
The Wombat. And Killer Wolverine. Play games, not consoles. No fanboys allowed.
And then I killed the dragon. 8.0.
Killed the dragon.